Part 65. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Ziyi. Chapter 646. Chapter 646 is really hard. Many monster beasts outside of Heaven's dome are also weak-ro, and will hunt each other, but since ancient times, when the beasts are exploding, all the monster beasts seems to have a certain degree of grievance against Heaven's dome and cultivator. Among the beasts, even some of the natural hostile monster beasts will not kill each other, but desperately kill the cultivator. In particular, the ancient desolate giant beast has been developed for tens of thousands of years, with a natural desolate scent and extremely terrifying. Moreover, this ancient desolate giant chelate is more advanced than just once, like water flood dragon turns into dragon. I am afraid that there are at least 2 or 3,000 years of age, the atmosphere of the body, enough to convince all the monsters below level 8. Tianli is nothing more than a level 4 monster beast. Compared with this ancient desolate behemoth, it is a real ant. In the face of this ancient desolate behemoth, it is absolutely intimate, if not in the beast. Among them, almost all the monster beast below level 8, I am afraid that they are not afraid to approach the range of the ancient desolate giant beast. Not to mention, dare to attack this ancient desolate behemoth. Pa! 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 The thunder ball, which was thrown out by the five-headed thunder, broke open in the secret place of the ancient desolate giant cheek. This head of ancient desolate has never thought of it. At this moment, there will be such a thing as thunder, and dare to attack it. Thunder, this level of monster beast, thunder ball, even if it directly hits its wound blood row, it does not cause any damage to great treasure. However, in its eyes, it is simply a monster beast that is not as good as an ant. It is a dare to attack it, but it is instantly plunged into anger. Pu. I saw a green light of Pangret treasure swept away. This ancient desolate giant scorpion has a long tail sweep. Almost all of the thunder, blue flame turtle dove and other monster beast within a few tens of feet of the radius are all arrogant. The powerful energy of the storm was swept into ashes. All the thunder, blue flame turtle dove and other monster beast, which are close to the ancient desolate behemoth, feel the wrath of the ancient desolate behemoth. They are all surprised and screaming. Panic, not even dare to stay within the scope of this ancient desolate giant beast. Hong. The various brilliances that Jia and Qi Longshan and others all spurred were once again slammed on the body of this ancient desolate. But this head experienced do not know how many years of ancient desolate beast, but is like an incomparable lone shapeshift great art experience general. Unexpectedly is the body lone naked of their bodies adjusted oblique downward tilt. Jia and other people to fight to make the best out of a blow, all hit on its back, has not been able to impact its injury secret place, but it hit a fierce down dozens of feet. How, these monster beasts are crazy. How come there is a monster beast dare to attack it? Ancient desolate is a giant scorpion, monster chi of Pang great treasure covers almost half of the city, but at this time, it is incredible for all cultivators in North Spirit City to have 5 days under this lust shape. The thunder came from the rear, and from the bottom to the injured place of the ancient desolate monster beast, the thunder ball was sprinkled. Not dead, the cultivator didn't die. How, the cultivator was shot in the giant cheeks, even if it was ordinary Jing gold, it must be cracked. Is his row body even more sturdy than the shapeshift great art great treasure? But let all the eyes of the North Spirit City cultivator solidify, and the whole time seems to stop completely at this moment. Generally, all cultivators see, the silver flashes, Wei Suo falling down like a stone, suddenly tyrannical stretching a stroke, a golden 2 series of light, in the unstoppable end of the ancient desolate giant scorpion swept the 5 thunders into ashes, from his front and spurred out. Flying sword. He used a flying sword. So great treasure's flying sword, is he. Even if it is a flying sword, this means of controlling the flying sword, the reaction and degree are no less than this ancient desolate giant cheek, his divine consciousness, How amazing it will be. All the cultivators saw that Wei Suo's brilliance of the golden 2SE at the moment was actually around when he slammed into the lower abdomen of Ancient Desolate, which evaded the Ancient Desolate. The thick legs of the green SE pillars hit by the golden 2SE light flames, and the scorpion broke into the belly of the Ancient Desolate giant cheek from the broken shell. I still can't kill. Ancient Desolate giant scorpion row body, too strong great treasure. Even the internal organs are as tough as Jing gold. But all the cultivators saw that the golden I simply can't go in. At the same time, the ancient desolate giant scorpion once again had a surging sound. It turned out that regardless of this golden say brilliance, it seems that this golden say brilliance did not cause any great treasure damage to it, the entire pang great treasure the figure, but the town is smashing the air, a surge of surging sound, and the Wei Suo underneath. Wei Suo. Seeing this kind of lust scene, Shui Ling and Ji Yat are completely white, and both golden cores go directly to the ancient desolate giant cheeks. On the golden core, there is a strip of dang. Taking advantage of the ruin of seeing breath. They are also very clear that Wei Suo's row is now extremely strong great treasure, but how powerful the powerful energy of ancient desolate is, even if it has blocked by mystic ranks karma fire red lotus, underneath, the current Wei Suo is definitely suffering. And even if Wei Suo doesn't have the slightest damage, Wei Suo now only has the cultivation base of heavenly circuit realm first layer, and certainly there is no anger of shapeshift great art blocking this ancient desolate. Self-destruct golden core. Shui Linger and Ji Yat are now ready to blue the golden core, and perhaps only this kind of self-destructive golden core will save Wei Suo. Dear God! These golden core great treasure cultivators are also completely desperate. I have to blue the golden core. Many cultivators in the northern spirit city, at this moment, have also seen the intentions of Shui Linger and Ji Yat, with a scream. What happened? Is this ancient desolate giant cheek crazy? But at this time, the situation is steep and the cultivator is shocked. Shui Linger and Ji Ya's golden core are also no longer appearing to ruin the scene. Pu. This head originally toward Wei Suo crushed to ancient desolate giant claws, suddenly again out of a surging sound fierce hissing, it was not regardless of the ca in its wound golden lone se guanghua. Now a few hind legs is simultaneously ca lone into the since oneself that secret place, unexpectedly is secret the golden lone se flame, and great treasure regiment blood row all dug out directly. The blood row of the green se is sprinkled, among them the great treasure of the great treasure group. Ancient desolate the body of the giant cheek is a violent tremor in the air, like a madness. But after digging out the blood row and organs of the great treasure regiment great treasure, after a terrible wound in his belly, the ancient desolate giant claw was still not stopped, as if something terrible, from which its secret place wound drilled in general, out of a surging sound of thunder, at the same time, 4 crab legs general hind legs, and mercilessly into their abdomen, again dug around of blood row and broken organs. Mind-devouring bug. It was mind-devouring bug who had drilled into the wound of the ancient desolate behemoth. With the perception of this ancient desolate behemoth, it was impossible for mind-devouring bug to be undetectable within a few dozen degrees. It must have been his calculations. When he hit the sword of the man board and attracted the attraction of this ancient desolate monster, mind-devouring bug took the opportunity to drill in. In the twinkling of an eye, Ji Yat and others reacted and went to the direction of Wei Suo's fall. Hong. At the same time, a brilliance, once again bombarded on the giant desolate giant cheek. This ancient desolate giant chi was bombarded by the bombardment, and it was like a green sexia hill falling from the sky and crashing into the ground. At the moment of the landing, the ancient desolate giant scorpion was completely mad, and the long-legged legs and the green se snake swept away. All the things within the range of the 100 feet were swept into pieces. Let's go. Stay away from this head monster beast. Otherwise, if it blew monster core, we couldn't live. Jia and others have not yet swept to Weisuo's, but Weisuo has already stopped the falling figure and flew away toward the rear, while sharply speaking with sound transmission to Jia et al. Weisuo, how are you? Keeping up with Weisuo and rushing towards the rear, Jia and others are all asking about the surging sound. At the moment, the shapeshift great art on the right side of Weisuo is almost completely broken. The secret place on the right side of the lumbosacral abdomen collapsed and it seemed that the bones inside had completely broken. I have sealed the injury with the true demon body sealing technique, and I am not fatal to the vitality of my Ro. Weisuo's face was pale and looked at the fiercely savage ancient desolate giant cheek. He reached out and took a shapeshift great art dress and put it on his body. With his mind-devouring bug, it is already a squad, and there is no such thing as shapeshift great art under shapeshift great art. When mind-devouring bug was used, he couldn't grasp the mind-devouring bug if he could get into the naked body of the ancient desolate. Hong. At this time, the ancient desolate giant cheek suddenly appeared in the glaucomous great treasure. It seems to be moving towards them, but the body of the naked body has just swept more than 10 feet, and he falls down vigorously, out of a surging sound loud noise. The ancient desolate giant cheeks of several green se long legs were raised again, slightly trembled, as if to do what they did not dare, but in a moment, this ancient desolate giant chi finally decided to be average, count the long, squatting legs smashed into his lower abdomen and dug into his naked body. It's like viscera from your own naked body. Seeing the cultivator of this scene, I only feel that I am tight, and the body is cold. I saw the blood row of the Great Treasure Group and the organs that were involved in the chain were pulled out by the ancient desolate. The ancient desolate giant scorpion's blue-tailed pelican squatted on the ground, and the ground was shattered with a long crack. Died. Now the entire North Spirit City, which has been mixed with Xuanhuan, seems to have fallen into silence. With the fall of this blow, the entire body of the ancient desolate giant cheeks was also a heavy body, and it was motionless. Monster chi, arrogant and overbearing, from the body of this ancient desolate behemoth, like Nedsp, dead, this monster beast was actually killed by us. The figures of Weisuo and Jia were also caught in the air. This scene has made their hearts feel unbelievable. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Zy. Chapter 647. Chapter 647 Retreat, Escape Light. Weisuo and Jia and others are aware of the strong great treasure of this ancient desolate giant. This ancient desolate giant chelate may be in front of the real ancient heavenly dragon, and it is also a 11 insect, which will be directly killed by a dragon claw. But this is only in front of the ancient treasured energy that heavenly dragon can DNG. Ancient Desolate is a level 8 mid-level monster beast. Its defensive power of the carapace itself is extremely strong great treasure. After advanced into a level 9 monster beast, this defensive power is further advanced. In other respects, it may not be as good as the average level 9 monster beast, but the defensive power of this shell is a far level of the level 9 monster beast. The attack of Weisuo etal without the shapeshift great art breaking the carapace of the body, the ancient desolate giant crest is ready to be invincible, and the toughness of the carapace of this ancient desolate even if Jia and Shuilinger and others blew themselves to golden core, they might not be able to break it. This level of monster beast is comparable to the great treasure cultivator of the golden core 5th layer, which is not what the current Weisuo and others can handle. But this falls in the eyes of the general cultivator in Northern Spirit City, but it is completely different. All of these North Spirit City cultivators only saw Weisuo flashing silver sedivine splendor, and under the attack of Ancient Desolate, they were still safe. And 3 consecutive monsters above level 8, even this fierce flame, the suffocating strong great treasure monster Chi's Ancient Desolate behemoth, were killed by them. In the eyes of all the cultivators in North Spirit City, Weisuo and others supreme are like gods. Even such monster beasts are directly killed. Great treasure cultivator God is alive, we can certainly hold. There is such a great treasure cultivator sitting in the town, we may live today. As the ancient body of the ancient desolate giant scorpion slammed into the dust, the monster chi disappeared like sea water, and the entire North Spirit City burst into a thrilling sound after a fierce stagnation surging sound and intercourse snoring surging sound. Killed, actually killed, Weisuo, quickly close this ancient desolate giant chelate, this ancient desolate giant crust carapace is so strong great treasure, used for artifact refinement, maybe you can refine the strong great treasure of mystic rank high grade to defend the shapeshift great art great treasure, even the annihilation god spear kind of powerful energy shapeshift great art great treasure, no shapeshift great art, green robed old man surging sound is also constantly squatting. When Weisuo rushed to block the ancient desolate scorpion to kill Jia and Shui Ling ghost raising jar was included in the storage bracelet. At this moment, Weisuo took the ghost raising jar and put it back in. In the middle of the mind, green-robed old man felt that the moment the ancient desolate giant scorpion was actually killed by Weisuo and others, it was simply unbelievable. Because I only sacrificed the flying sword, Weisuo knows that some cultivators in the city must have seen some clues, and at this moment, the three-legged yellow U-great treasure has been crushed, so Weisuo can't be too disguised. Reach out and give Chi Fire Boat a sacrifice. Weisuo and mind-devouring bug have a unique heart-inspired response. He feels that at this moment, mind-devouring bug has passed through a vein in the ancient desolate giant cheek naked body, and has entered the giant desolate giant. The position of the brain in the scabbard is even the brain that has been absorbing the ancient desolate. This ancient desolate giant chi has been truly smashed, so Weisuo has no jealousy. After the Chi Fire Boat, immediately control the Chi Fire Boat toward the ancient desolate giant scorpion. Past. A surging sound of is unnoticed, and mind-devouring bug retreats from the wound of the ancient desolate giant cheek in the lust without anyone's perception. Because Weisuo had to bring the head of the ancient desolate to the storage bracelet at the moment, Weisuo was the shilling mind-devouring bug stopped eating and retired. Mind-devouring bug came out, and under the white light, the ancient desolate behemoth was included in the treasure receiving pocket by Weisuo. Flying sword is also not damaged. Then, in the vicinity of the head of the ancient desolate giant beast, in a pile of blood and the broken organ of the middle, Weisuo saw his mensboard flying sword. This time, Weisuo took a shot from the flying sword to make mind-devouring bug close to the ancient desolate behemoth. It was already planned to damage the flying sword. However, this ancient desolate giant scorpion was sneaked into the naked body by mind-devouring bug. Under the unsatisfactory lust situation, it was intended to use the method of a strong man to break the wrist. He wanted to use his own great treasure blood and viscera. Mind-devouring bug dug out together, so his flying sword was actually intact and without any damage. Kill Weisuo puts down this manboard flying sword, and has a sternly shouted of surging sound. At the same time, Chi Fire Boat goes directly to the most dense secret place Jis over the North Spirit City. Dao Guanghua rushed out from the black fire of the 4-volume Chi Fire Boat, smashing the monster beast of the great treasure piece of great treasure. Divided into 4 columns. The front and back of the 2 columns are fully defended, and the front and rear are kept. The middle 2 columns are full of attack and attack. Han Tianmo's fierce surging sound sounded again. Under the killer monster beast of Weisuo etal, the cultivator in the northern spirit city turned out to be a stable one, no longer one as before, fighting each other. In all directions, the monster beast is constantly coming. The 4-level low-grade wolf head bat, the 4-level mid-level fire great treasure, was also seen by Weisuo. The number of monster beasts is getting more and more mixed, and the 4-level low-grade monster beast is covered with stone armor. The level 5 low-grade red cloud bee, even the naked body type is very pouring great treasure. The body of the naked body also has 2 or 3 squares, and the purple flame giant beetle like the mobile house also appeared. The shape of the monster beast of the purple flame giant beetle is almost exactly the same as that of the general ladybug, but it is just a giant treasure. The monster beast's body is so amazing, but it only spits a purple se smoke. The strength is only a 4-level high level. This giant beetle, because the body of the two carapace is refining the shapeshift great art shield, the good material, coupled with the body treasure, is easy to be seen. So near Heaven's Dome, it has almost been hunted, almost extinct, but now around the North Spirit City, no traces in various among the monster beasts. There are at least 1,000 beetles of the general shape of such giant ladybugs in the near Pufftuo blue flame turtle dove were worn by several splendid light DNG and fell from the air. A cultivator was worn by the black light DNG of the poison arrow and screamed to the ground. A monster beast was cut into 2 pieces by a brilliance, but a brilliance when it was dead, but also a cultivator was blown out. Such a lust scene, between each breath, is staged on the inner wall of the northern spirit city. Between every breath, there are countless monster beasts and cultivators screaming to the ground. Because there is no high-level monster beast to block Weisuo and others, the monster beast that is killed between each breath is several times as many as the cultivator of the casualty. But the number of monster beasts is not known to be many times the North Spirit City cultivator. Even if the number of 10 or even 30 monster beasts is exchanged for the fall of a cultivator, the cultivator in North Spirit City can't stand a loss. At the moment on the Chi fire boat, Weisuo just stood and looked around the secret place and didn't shoot. Although he sealed the injury with the true demon body sealing technique, it doesn't look like someone who is hurting at the moment, but the one that hits the ancient desolate giant cheek is almost all of his left side. The bones were all smashed, and even his guild suffered serious damage. Although his RU is full of great treasure at the moment, such a wound is not fatal, but if the true demon body sealing technique is released at this moment, the injury in his naked body can only be healed immediately, and there is no next one. For a few days, you can't use any true UN at all. According to his injury at the moment, the sooner he is healed, the better. The longer the true demon body sealing technique seal is, and the more he will move his hands, the more he will use true UN, Chi, and blood. To be serious. If he is now more serious, he will probably be fatally wounded. But the lust shape at the moment is that Weisuo simply does not dare to directly remove the seal of true demon body sealing technique. Half an hour, the time is just over half, the original cultivator more than 40,000, and now there are only about 20,000 remaining. The number of monster beast is too many, the predecessors, it is better to take us out. The walls in the northern spirit city have also collapsed. A lot of secret places, and many places have already heard such surging sounds. After seeing Weisuo and others killing the ancient desolate giant scorpion, after seeing the endless body cultivator in the face of the endless beast sea, many cultivators have begun to fall into full horror, wanting escape from the heart. And this is still the cultivator of these North Spirit City, which is not daring to sneak out. If they kill the monster beast in the secret place like Weisuo and others, they see the secret place, which is still a constant beast sea. I am afraid that most of the cultivator will be completely lost. It is. Your predecessors, this will definitely not support this. Ask your predecessors to send a copy of the Shapeshift Great Art to protect some fellow deist and build a line of defense around the Shapeshift Great Art. At this point, Han Tianmo's fierce surging sound rang again. Passing the Shapeshift Great Art, why should you keep the secret place and send it to the Shapeshift Great Art? Why don't you ask the seniors to break out and go back to the rear of the city? Han Tianmo's fierce surging sound, many cultivators, could not help but screamed out. At the moment, Heaven's Dome in the Wanli region has been split for 4 secret places. Just along the way, we experienced 3 secret place rips. Tens of thousands of miles, even 10,000 miles, have been swept by the Beast Sea. The Beast Sea of this size may have swept the great treasure half-day mysterious treasure, the northern part, and which city retreat, no secret place. At this point, Chi fire boat slammed into the direction of Han Tianmo. At the same time, Wei Suo's surging sound was rolling in and out. Only by holding this transmission to the shapeshift great art array, can you escape from this transmission to the shapeshift great art. I have an ancient great treasure that allows the divine sea realm cultivator to pass through this ancient biography to send shapeshift great art. There is no choice at this moment. If you don't want to die, listen to the assignment from fellow deist Han. If you don't believe me, let's leave now and try to escape. I can guarantee that as long as I keep this ancient biography, the shapeshift great art array can be enabled. As long as it doesn't happen, I don't have the monster beast. The lower the cultivation base, the lower the cultivation base, the more I let him go all the way. After this ancient biography, send shapeshift great art to escape. What? Heaven's dome rip 4 secret places above, the beast sea swept the great treasure half a heavenly great treasure northern part. Tens of miles in the square, all have been swept by the beast sea. We actually have a secret place to repair the Taoist tens of thousands of years. Among the most great treasures of the beast sea, Wei Suo's surging sound, which makes the great treasure most cultivator of northern spirit city, directly loses the ability to think. Wei Suo and others, at this moment in the eyes of these cultivator, as God only, Wei Suo said, these cultivator although extremely shocking, but do not dare to doubt, and the original all want to break the cultivator, are also want to follow Wei Suo and so people, now Wei Suo and other people have said to the core, all the cultivator naturally clear is broken all retreat. At the moment, Wei Suo and all the remaining cultivators in northern spirit city don't know that at this time, there is an escape light coming from the direction of Corn Mine City towards the North Spirit City Gs. Corn Mine City and Heaven First City are the closest cities to the North Spirit City. The distance between the three cities is similar. On the map of the Heavenly Great Treasure, the northern part is a triangle. Behind this escape light, it is followed by a black cloud of Pangret treasure. After the black cloud, there are still a few green demon fogs, which seems to be chasing this escape light. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Zy. Chapter 648. Chapter 648 is too illusory. Chapter 648 is too illusory. Updated, 2011-08-26. The degree of this escape light is amazing, and it seems that it is never under the three-legged yellow U great treasure. The cultivator that took this escape light, wearing this shapeshift great art clothing, dashing eyebrows star, the spotless, seemingly clean black all tied with a soft U belt on the behind the head, the hall is wide and bright, scattered on the body a strong great treasure that overlooks the world. This cultivator is a true treasure of mystic wind sect, Lin Taixu. At this moment, Lin Taixu's body is covered with a dazzling green sedivine light. All the blocked monsters in front are just a little touch with the green sedivine light, and they are immediately shattered by a pair of powerful energy. Lin Taixu crossed the void and was in the air like God King crossing the border, the powerful great treasure that the power could not tell. But at the moment, Lin Taixu's face is no face lust, Gu Jing has no bow, but obviously he does not dare to have the slightest stay. It seems that he was chased by the monster beast in the rear of the gang great treasure black cloud. Lin Taixu is the cultivation base of the golden core fourth layer, and the powerful energy of the annihilation god spear is amazingly strong to the treasure. Even the blood spirit old ancestor of the Yin Corp sect golden core fifth layer may not be him. Opponent. So before the beast BSP, at this moment, this group of black clouds in the monster beast to Lin Taixu have not been able to have any stop. This monster beast, what an amazing strength. In the middle of the black cloud, the monster beast in the green demon fog is like an erect crocodile. It is also humanoid, and it is unusually awkward. It is a natural ferocious beast spirit devouring beast that almost killed Yang Rouge bird. At this moment, the spirit devouring beast, which is far behind Lin Taixu, looks like it has 4 heads. I saw that Lin Tegzu had no surface lust and flew for a while in the direction of the North Spirit City. After seeing the secret place to the secret place, it was a monster beast trace. His brow was slightly wrinkled and ready to move toward another. A position flies past the past. Corn Mine City has been completely ruined, and North Spirit City actually has a great treasure cultivator to survive. But all of a sudden, Lin Tegzu, who had never had a lust, had suddenly jumped a bit and flashed a suspicious god. Based on what he saw at this time, Lin Tegzu had already judged that the Heaven's Dome Rip had more than 2 secret places and 3 secret places, and he arrived at this secret place. He also saw that Heaven's Dome on the North Spirit City side, there must have been a secret place cracked. In his view, even the Corn Mine City, which is slightly larger than the North Spirit City, has been completely destroyed in the Beast Sea. The city of North Spirit City is now a cultivator that has disappeared and can escape. Already fleeing, thousands of miles near the city, may not even have a surviving cultivator. But at the moment, he heard the shapeshift great art surging sound from the direction of North Spirit City, and the surging sound of the fight shaft great art is still very intense, obviously at least thousands of cultivators and monsters. Beast fight. Otherwise, he can't even see the North Spirit City at the moment, but the surging sound of the 11-scale flapshift great art is impossible to pass so far. After looking at the black cloud towards the rear and the 4-headed spirit devouring beast, Lin Tegzu is still a look of lust, but with a flash of light, he flies towards the direction of North Spirit City. Past. Lin Tegzu's amazing brilliance is like the legendary God King rolling all the way. Just a moment, the outline of the North Spirit City is already faintly visible. I saw the violent explosion of surging sound and roaring surging sound. The whole world was constantly shaking. Numerous dense monster beasts, flying around the Northern Spirit City, almost formed a black SE python around the entire North Spirit City, a black hurricane that kept spinning. The outer perimeter of the Northern Spirit City has been completely destroyed. The secret place is the corpse of the monster beast and the cultivator, but a secret place in the North Spirit City is a dense ray of light that converges into a flood, constantly rushing out. There are countless monster beasts that are directly smashed into pieces, or subjected to fatal blows, and screaming like rain. The good smashing of the sturdy, even in this lust shape, can still support. It seems that there is a golden core cultivator present. There is a golden core cultivator, it would be better. Looking at the lust scene in North Spirit City, Lin Tegzu still has no lust, but he talks to himself, and has a surging sound whisper. At the same time, his hands are slightly moving, but his body is suddenly there is a more white mess of white SE, which hides the figure. Immediately, the figure of Lin Tegzu, which was hidden in the white semist, was once again elevated. From the very high altitude, it continued to fly toward the North Spirit City. The predecessors, the help of life, no teeth are unforgettable. Predecessors, without you, we must die today in this secret place, the help of life, we will never forget. In the Northern Spirit City, it is another scene. I saw the entire ancient transmission around the shapeshift great art array, and directly with many house wrecks, the monster beast body, condensed with earth and stone and hard ice to form a high wall. But at this moment, this high wall has been washed away, and the cultivator, which gathers near the high wall and inside and the monster beast, is less than 5,000. But the entire ancient talisman powerful energy, which enveloped ancient's transmission of the shapeshift great art array, has dissipated. There have been a batch of cultivators that have entered the ancient transfer shapeshift great art array and disappeared into the shapeshift great art array with the spirit light of the shapeshift great art. The original lucky shot killed ancient desolate. The next lucky to move is, no more quickly appear level 8 above strong great treasure monster beast, so without any retreat lust condition, although the North Spirit City in the cultivator loss of unusually heavy, each breath, there are many cultivator fall, but finally support to the ancient talisman powerful energy dissipation, support to this ancient transmission shapeshift great art array can be enabled. Now with the shrinking of the North Spirit City defensive circle, the number of cultivators is getting smaller and smaller, and the number of monster beasts killed is far less than the number of monster beasts coming, so the number of peripheral beasts is now almost invisible. A view outside the North Spirit City. Now the monster beast in this beast sea seems to have been detected. The cultivator of Northern Spirit City is fleeing through this ancient shapeshift great art array. For them, with the transmission of each of the shapeshift great art arrays by ancient, their Ling Y is a small batch, so the entire number of monster beasts above the shapeshift great art array is the most dense. These monster beasts also obviously want to destroy the ancient transmission shapeshift great art array first. But at this moment, Wei Suo's Chi fire boat stayed right above the ancient transmission shapeshift great art array, and the glare of a great treasure rushed out of the Chi fire boat. The entire Chi fire boat, like a giant great treasure's shapeshift great art shield, protected the ancient transmission shapeshift great art array. The wreckage and fly ash of countless monster beasts, from the ancient transmission of the shapeshift great art array above the snow-white butt. At this moment, Shui Linger is located in the ancient transmission shapeshift great art array, G-top grade spirit protecting ancient talisman, escorting a batch of cultivators in the past, and then immediately transferred it, once again escorting a batch of cultivator. As Wei Suo said, the lower the grade cultivator, the lower the cultivation base, the sooner it leaves. Each batch of cultivators left as Wei Suo directly pointed out. And after the last batch of cultivators left, the next batch of cultivators waited for Si Linger to pick up the shuttle. Wei Suo also let the cultivator get how many monster beast corpses. Anyway, the monster beast body in the entire North Spirit City has now piled up like a mountain, and it is impossible to get it. At the time of support to this ancient transmission of the shapeshift great art array, less than a quarter of the cultivators in the entire Northern Spirit City survived. Now Wei Suo and others have escorted about 4,000 cultivators to escape by transmitting the shapeshift great art array. In the process, more than 1,000 cultivators have fallen. Now that every surviving cultivator sees the world outside, it is clear that the entire transmission shapeshift the monster beast around the art array, even though the next transfer shapeshift great art array transmission process, still do not know how many cultivator to fall, eventually how many cultivator smooth escape, but there is no Wei Suo and other people, all the North Spirit City cultivator, estimated that all will fall. One did not do shapeshift great art to escape seeing life. Especially for the cultivator of Divine Sea Realm and Heavenly Circuit Realm, it is even different. When I thought of the Wei Suo Divine Sea Realm 2/3 layers, even the two-stage rock-tailed wall lizard was very difficult to deal with. In the lust condition of this beast, even if I first escaped from North Spirit City, Divine Sea Realm and Heavenly Circuit Realms cultivator, even if luck is good, it is impossible to escape, 100% will die. At this moment, Wei Suo and others used the strong great treasure divine ability to let them escape safely, and they also let them take the monster beast. In the eyes of these low-grade cultivators, Wei Suo etal gave them the grace of the treasure. Whether it is above the ancient shapeshift great art array, Jia and Han Wei who are blocking the monster beast, or in the ancient shapeshift great art array, G top grade spirit protecting ancient talisman, escorting a batch of cultivators to escape Shui Linger, in their eyes, are great treasures. The seniors, although the younger generation knows that the cultivation base is low, but today great treasure, if there is a chance to repay in the future, it will definitely be healed in the next place. In this North Spirit City, there are many cultivators that are also heavy lust. They are more willing to fight for themselves and want to see their loved ones can escape, so some cultivators are sent by Shui Linger with their close friends. When shapeshift great art was sent away, it couldn't help but scream. At the moment, Wei Suo, who sealed the injured body with the true demon body sealing technique, still does not use any of the shapeshift great art. After the quick departure of the next batch of cultivators, his gaze stays on the edge of the ancient shapeshift great art, the two black-bone dark lords of the non-stop black light column. It is actually them. It's really the end of the world, the secret place doesn't meet. At this time, Lin Taixu, wrapped in a white semist and located in a very high altitude, has crossed the outermost wall. As soon as he saw the strong great treasure flame that was transmitted from time to time above the shapeshift great art array, there was a sneer on his face. N. At the same time, Wei Suo suddenly seemed to have sensed something, and his face suddenly changed. Jia, let's go first. Without the slightest stop, he immediately took Chi fire boat and sang a surging sound against Jia et al. The divine consciousness of the sun has actually been sensed to have a high-level monster beast, and the response is extremely fast. I want to go, not so easy. At the height of the sky, Lin Taixu is also with the slightest hesitation. At the same time as the surging sound, the whole person's green divine light shines, like a meteorite, and the shapeshift great art is smashed toward ancient. At the same time, a surging sound, two floods of splendid light, directly to the ancient transmission shapeshift great art rushed. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Zy. Chapter 649. Chapter 649 is too toxic. Lin Taixu's shining green divine light is enough to reveal a distance of 50 feet. Foam asterisk. Within 50 feet, all the monster beasts that come into contact with this green divine light are all turned into fly ash. The two splendid light in front of him, one of the golden streamers, instantly radiated a flame tail of 200-300 feet, like a comet, Dong days cracked. Another green se stream, like a piece of green se lotus leaves, but there are countless kinds of green se brilliance, it seems that thousands of green seas trail wind condensed. Lin Taixu's green divine light and the two brilliance of the origin Chi Bo move, like a vast ocean, a cannot tell the great treasure momentum, instantly running through the sky, so that the entire North Spirit City seems secret place under the trample of an ancient god king. This moment of terrifying breath, the ancient transmission of the countless monster beast above the shapeshift great art array is a fierce humming, the naked body trembles, want to escape. But almost all Lin Taixu forward in the direction of the monster beast, are directly by the powerful energy suppressed no shapeshift great art movements, a head monster beast directly suspended in the air, good like being fixed in the picture in general, Lin Taixu body before two strands of brilliance, the distance from these monster beast and 100 feet of distance, this head monster beast has been directly burst open, into a round of blood mist, and then turned into fly ash. The incomparable power, like God King's punishment, is like a flood of years, unstoppable. Wei Suo, what's the matter? Lin Taixu. Originally, there was no sign. Wei Suo suddenly took Chi fire boat and let Jia and others land ancient to transmit shapeshift great art. Jia and others did not react at all, but when they saw extremely high altitude, two terrifying brilliance in front, a group of green divine light in the back, scratched the void, all the people suddenly changed face se. Quick Jia shapeshift great art, at the same time as the cultivator of the shapeshift great art, which was shocked by the sudden appearance of Lin Taixu, had a surging sound sternly shouted, Jia and others all swelled to the limit of spiritual chi, and all the people moved. The strongest attack, a ray of flames, rushed to the top of Lin Taixu. Lin Taixu. He actually appeared in this secret place. He turned out to be the direct destruction of the shapeshift great art array. Wei Suo, while delivering the shapeshift great art array under the landing, was stretched out, and Han Tianmo and Chen Anyuan, who were on the edge of the ancient shapeshift great art array, were also involved in the transmission of the shapeshift great art. At this moment, looking at the top like God King, Lin Taixu, who came from the Dong sky, couldn't tell the horror in his heart. He was not aware of the arrival of Lin Taixu at all, but just felt that there was an amazingly great treasure of monster chi coming towards North Spirit City by. Monster chi, the amazingly great treasure, made him feel familiar, but at the same time let him feel that this monster chi, which is close to the ancient desolate, is not inferior to the ancient desolate. Before his eyes stayed on the two black bone dark lords, because with a batch of cultivators leaving by sending shapeshift great art, the remaining cultivators, wanting to resist more and more difficult, the cultivator fell faster. For Weisuo, no matter how many cultivators eventually fall, it is natural that the more cultivators can escape. So Weisuo is already planning in the heart, and even abandoned the two black bone dark lords in exchange for more cultivators to leave. Speaking of SI, Weisuo didn't hide his SI heart from the beginning. When he stated at the outset that he had to keep this ancient transmission of shapeshift great art, he already said that if they had no monster beast to deal with shapeshift great art, they must leave first. For Weisuo, and he has no cultivators seeing life, it is natural that he and Jia and others are important. However, this tens of thousands of seeing is in front of his eyes. In his heart, he will unconsciously make trade-offs, and even willing to give up some costs to save a batch of cultivators. At this moment, whether he or Shui Linger and others have suffered damage, there are no more monsters than the ancient desolate giant cheese. They are sure that there is no shapeshift great art to deal with, so he decided to escape. Han Tianmo and Chen Anyuan were also dragged into the ancient transmission shapeshift great art array because he had already considered that the experience of Han Tianmo and Chen Anyuan, who had experienced several beast tide, was very useful and would not be able to guard other cities. When resisting beast tide, there is also great treasure. Because according to the heavenly profound continent Heaven's Dome's lust condition, even if it escapes to Cloud Spirit continent, it will be at most a few decades, and Cloud Spirit continent's Heaven's Dome will definitely start to crack. Now, for Weisuo, I have only tried my best and can only escape. But he did not think of it. Lin Taixu at this moment, actually went to this North Spirit city. And look at Lin Taixu now with the breath of the heavens and exterminating the earth's breath. It is clear that I want to strike this ancient transmission shapeshift great art array completely defeated. Will this ancient transmission shapeshift great art array route, then equivalent to completely broke the Weisuo and other people's posterior, Lin Taixu? This idea, naturally is not difficult to guess, but now Lin Taixu such a surprised world divine ability, under this kind of lust form, does not obstruct monster beast, unexpectedly is wants directly to route ancient transmits shapeshift great art array, kills them. This means, actually is too diabolical. This person is actually going to destroy the ancient transmission of the shapeshift great art. This person is so divine ability, I don't even block the monster beast for us, regardless of our lives. This person is too poisonous. Let's take it all together and stop this person with your predecessors. Ancient sent shapeshift great art around, many cultivators also had an angry surging sound, and the splendid light rushed up and rushed toward Lin Taixu. The pearl of rice, dare to let go. But the general cultivator, cultivation base, and divine ability are far from Lin Taixu, and the divine consciousness and response of these cultivators are not much worse than the golden core great treasure cultivator. The brilliance of their brilliance has not yet gone out. In Lin Taixu's cold and cold surging sound, the brilliance of Jia and others has already been combined with Lin Taixu's two brilliance. Hong. Kaka, in the storm surging sound of heaven shaking, there has been a crack in the black sedging gold giant crocodile in the fight with the ancient desolate giant scorpion, starting from the head, a piece of fragmentation. Pu. Ancient transmitted the shapeshift great art array, and the rest of the cultivator's brilliance was almost hid by the two brilliances of Jia and Lin Taixu, and the powerful energy that broke out was completely shattered. Many people have shed blood, and they have fallen backwards and almost fell to the ground. The divine ability of Golden Core 4th layer Great Treasure Cultivator, coupled with the stunning power of Annihilation God Spear, is not the Deo Cultivator below the Golden Core stage. In the transmission of Shapeshift Great Art, there has been a beam of light, and it is extremely holy. This ancient transmission of the Shapeshift Great Art array has been smashed out, and as long as the fingers are between, Wei Suo and others can escape to the edge of the Cloud Spirit continent through this transmission of the shapeshift great art. However, Lin Tengzu did not stop at all, and still did not panic. Under the divine consciousness of his giant treasure, the passage of time seems to be extremely slow, as if it were stagnant, and the time of a finger can be broken down into dozens of moments. He seems to have enough time to leave Wei Suo and others in the time of this fingering. Chi. Chi. But at this time, the flames of the two black SES were one left and one right, respectively, hitting Lin Tengzu. Black Bone Dark Lord. The strength of Wei Suo's divine consciousness is not under Lin Tengzu. His calculations and reactions are extremely accurate. The two Black Bone Dark Lords have risen before, but they did not have the first time with Ji Ya and others. In the face of Lin Tengzu's attack, it was just a strong hit by Lin Tengzu, just in time for Ji Ya and others to fight hard. It was as if Lin Tengzu had swung his fist, and when his fist had not come back, a fist was already in front of him. Pu puff. However, such an attack has not been able to bring a half point to Lin Tengzu. Lin Tengzu turned out to be doing nothing at all, and the naked body still didn't have any stops, just like the meteor of the green SE, making a trajectory in the sky. Touching the green Sedivine light from him, the black light from the two Black Bone Dark Lords is directly turned into fly ash. Crushing stars. Shizun actually passed this book to him. Seeing this scene, Shui Linger's face was pale as transparent, and her hand couldn't help but hold Wei Suo's hand. At the same time, Lin Tengzu is far away from the already white-sounding ancient shapeshift great art array, extending his right index finger and clicking a little. At the same time as his right index finger point out, his body flew innumerable green SE starlight, and a transparent light pattern with a slight green SE emerged instantly from his fingertips. This transparent light pattern is a very mysterious atmosphere, and as time goes by, Ji Ya and others don't even have time to condense the golden core. This transparent light pattern has already hit Wei Suo's body. Wei Suo. Ji Ya and others suddenly gave a surging sound. Shui Linger's face is also a complete snow white but white. At this time, she is subconsciously trying to catch Wei Suo's hands, but when this green SE transparent light hits Wei Suo instead, she opened her hand. At the same time as Ji Ya etal exclaimed the surging sound, a beam of giant treasures beam of light instantly enveloped the entire ancient transmission of the shapeshift great art array. The figure of Ji Ya and others disappeared instantly in the ancient transmission shapeshift great art array and was transmitted. Wei Suo, at this moment of transmitting the shapeshift great art, flew out of the shape trans great art array by the transparent SE light pattern. Lin Tengzu, the corners of the mouth emerged a hint of a very profound sneer, just glanced at Wei Suo to fly out of the direction, not the slightest stop, his body and a dazzling green Sedivine light, directly in the ancient transmission shapeshift great art disappear above the array, a little green light in the side of the monster beast group faint, the rear is a puff of fly ash. This moment, Lin Tengzu has crossed the don't know how many zhang. Almost as soon as Lin Tengzu's figure disappeared above ancient's transmission of the shapeshift great art array, it was a more terrifying scent, and the smashing repression was in Lin Tengzu's position. A group of black SE clouds fell straight down, and the suppression was carried out on the ancient shapeshift great art array. The entire ground where the shapeshift great art array was located was cracked. Numerous broken crystal stones screamed and jumped up. This ancient sends the shapeshift great art array, completely destroyed. Pa. A terrifying white sebone spike, the skin is a black bess monster beast, from the dark clouds, Wei Suo's two Black Bone Dark Lord, G Brilliance hit this giant claw, there is no between the secret place, a surging sound, the two Black Bone Dark Lords were directly captured as scattered fragments. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Zy. Chapter 650. Chapter 650 People in the Mead. Wei Suo's naked body flew out. Senior. Several cultivators subconsciously wanted to catch Wei Suo, but their true Yuan and Wei Suo's naked body were immediately broken. The power of the clear blue light that Lin Teixu points out is not at all comparable to the cultivators they have. Pa! Pa! After a few hundred feet flying out of the moment, there were a few splendid light from the monster beast, and it was also unceremoniously impacted on Wei Suo's. Wei Suo's body was shocked and then he fell to the ground. Lin Teixu. Wei Suo, who was heavily on the ground, swept up again. At this moment, Ancient transmitted the monster chi terrifying in the black cloud above the shapeshift great art array. It was the monster beast that he felt before that he did not lose to the giant desolate. It was just the powerful energy that the town of monster beast had crushed, and it completely shattered the ancient transmission of the shapeshift great art array. He guards the two black bone dark lords who transmitted the shapeshift great art array. He was caught directly into the fly ash by a claw. The monster beast giant claws with white sebone spikes that shattered the two black bone dark lords were incomparably familiar to Wei Suo. This monster beast is clearly the inexplicable monster beast that Wei Suo etal in Beast Tide, when encountering Lin Teixu and Bloody Yang, and then fighting the Bloody Yang Ji. At that time, there was heaven burning divine stove, and even the level 8 monster beast lava trolls could be the blood of the town. It was not the atomic beast of this head, and even the heaven burning divine stove was distorted. Even if Wei Suo's cultivation base recovers from the beginning, it is not necessarily the opponent of this monster beast. Now the chi and blood in his naked body keeps tumbling, the power of the true demon body sealing technique will collapse, but this is mainly because when he is flying out, he is hit by several monster beasts. Lin Teixu's transparent shift of the shapeshift great art, is a strange soft thrust, very similar to Shui Linger's shapeshift great art, which pushes the cultivator away from the spirit-devouring beast, and did not cause him any damage to great treasure. Lin Teixu introduced him to the shapeshift great art array with such a Dao technique shapeshift great art, from the beginning to the departure, Lin Teixu did not stop at all, they were attacking in the air, and Lin Teixu left. The incomparable monster treasure of this great treasure came down. Lin Teixu must have been with this monster beast Jia Xiao, and then lost, was chased by this monster beast all the way, and Lin Teixu is definitely difficult to get rid of this head monster beast. In other words, this head monster beast is led by Lin Teixu. In the eyes of this monster beast, the cultivator is the spiritual Yao required for its cultivation. Lin Teixu is definitely trying to introduce it into the cultivator heap of the city, so that if the monster beast stays and kills the cultivator, Lin Teixu can take the opportunity to escape. Lin Teixu originally wanted to attract the monster beast in the cultivator in the north of Spirit City, and then let him escape. It just happened that Wei Suo and others were here, so he wanted to destroy Ancient to transmit the shapeshift great art array. Ancient transmitted shapeshift great art. Once destroyed, the road was cut off. The monster beast arrived. Wei Suo and others would definitely not escape. If they were desperately fighting with the monster beast, they could give him time to escape. So one hit did not damage the ancient transmission of the shapeshift great art array. Lin Teixu did not stop at all, just use this Dao technique shapeshift great art to shoot Wei Suo. Even if there is no shapeshift great art to remove others, just remove Wei Suo, and other people's cultivation base will not have too great treasure threat to Lin Teixu. Before he fell to the ground, seeing this head monster beast coming, Wei Suo has completely reacted and thought about the intention of Lin Teixu. Lin Teixu is too poisonous, but at this moment, Wei Suo is basically in the heart of cursing. Lin Teixu's mind is gone. Although his fleshly body was very tough, only a few monster beasts' heavy blows did not leave any wounds on his body, but his previous trauma was very serious, and the left ribs bones and gilt were almost completely broken. Crack, at this moment he feels that as long as he violently uses True Yuan, the powerful energy of the true demon body sealing technique in the naked body will be completely collapsed and scattered. When I am going to heal immediately, I may be weak and I can't support it. At this moment, Wei Suo, who has just swept from the grounds of the monster beast and cultivator, saw that the unknown monster beast in the dark cloud has been extended after instantly crushing his two black bone dark lords. The four claws of the giant claws kept catching. A handful of cultivator, kept caught in the thick black cloud. All the shape-shift great art shields outside the cultivator, the divine light screen, in front of the giant claws of the white sebone spike sticking out in the dark clouds, are like nothing. The brilliance of the cultivator is in this unknown monster beast. On the giant claws, there is no way to hurt them. All the surrounding cultivators, in front of this head monster beast, are really like ants. No, the shapeshift great art array has broken. Dear God, there is such a strong treasure of monster beast. Many cultivators, when the giant beast's giant claws are caught, have been completely scared, and have not been resisted at all. They are already a demented table lust. The head of this monster beast seems to be not low. After chasing the lust of Lin Tegzu for so long, it seems that it is not necessary to chase it. Soxing destroyed this ancient transmission shapeshift great art array. Kill and swallow the cultivator here. It's just this monster beast, and thousands of cultivators that have survived at the moment may not be able to escape. But at the moment, Wei Suo saw that there were several demon clouds of green se, falling from the sky above. Spirit-devouring beast. There is actually a spirit-devouring beast coming, and it is 4 heads. At this time, the entire ancient transmission of the shapeshift great art array has been within a few tens of miles. It has been completely Xuanhuan, all the cultivators, which have been completely scattered like a sand, and have no resistance at all in front of the monster beast. It gives people the feeling that it is fortunate that the cultivator of this secret place has become a fey worm that the monster beast is vying for. At first glance, for a moment, at least a few monster beasts are vying for the body of a cultivator, and then the cultivator's body is torn apart under the scramble of several monster beasts. At the moment, no matter who comes to see Wei Suo's secret place, 100% is going to fall. But after Wei Suo's 4 sweeps and fears flickered for a moment, he reached for a shot on his slave bag and released the mind-devouring bug. Then, he immediately swept past a giant treasure at the back of the right. The peeping great treasure, the naked body, purple se, like a pouring great treasure mobile house. The shape is almost exactly the same as the ordinary ladybug. It is the purple flame giant beetle that is very rare near Heaven's Dome. A surging sound of paw slam toward the purple flame giant beetle, and a black segwang brilliance of a poisonous arrow hit Wei Suo's and beat him again. It was a fierce shock. Wei Suo's face se is obviously white, but his figure is without any stop. At a distance of more than 30 miles from the purple flame giant beetle that he used to be a great treasure in the small stone house of Spirit Peak City, this purple flame giant beetle obviously felt that Wei Suo was facing it. The body flashed purple, and it was about to attack Wei Suo. But all of a sudden, the purple flame giant beetle shook slightly, but the purple light on the body disappeared, and then the purple flame giant beetle immediately came close to Wei Suo. At the same time, the two-headed thunder and the two-headed body type compared to the great treasure's black wind eagle are parked on Wei Suo's, almost covering the entire body of Wei Suo's naked body. While Wei Suo and the purple flame beetle almost collided together, the purple flame giant beetle slightly opened the 2 oval giant treasure back shells, and Wei Suo immediately swept it. 2 pieces under the back shell. Like the common ladybug, the 2 giant treasures of the purple flame giant beetle have a few thin transparent wings underneath the back shell, but the giant beetle is not flying. These pieces are wing-like wings are only for the giant beetle. Below the wings, it is like a cowhide skin, but it is also purple se, looks very tough. I saw Wei Suo and immediately took out his BSP. The naked body of the purple flame giant beetle was obviously shocked, and Wei Suo's unusually pale face suddenly showed an extremely nervous god. But then there was no change in the purple flame giant beetle. Wei Suo immediately turned the men's flying sword and dug out a great treasure. Purple flame giant beetle all over a little tremor, but still no great treasure. See this lust, Wei Suo eyes showed a hint of ecstasy of God Se, toward B he dug up the wound carefully looked, Wei Suo immediately and even flying sword, in this head the body is extremely pang great treasure of purple flame giant beetle on the back, dug up a can allow a person to shelter dong out. Regardless of the bloodiness, Wei Suo jumped directly into the blood dong, and then the two thick beards of the purple flame giant beetle were immediately covered. From the outside, it seems that there is no trace of it. Later, the purple flame giant beetle was retired to the north of Spirit City. Under such a lust shape that anyone can see, Wei Suo actually thought of using mind-devouring bug to control a purple flame beetle, and then dug a dong on the purple flame beetle to hide himself. Cover your breath with the breath of the purple flame giant beetle, and then escape. At this moment, after the carapace of the purple flame giant beetle was closed, the monster beast from the purple flame beetles around the body, like the chow water, did not feel any abnormality, and did not think of the purple flame giant beetle in the naked body. There is also a cultivator hidden. However, Wei Suo, who is hiding in the naked body of the purple flame beetle at the moment, has no lust of excitement. Instead, his hands and feet are very cold. Mind-devouring bug has no problem controlling this purple flame beetle, and at this moment the mind-devouring bug stays on the back of the purple flame beetle, above the Wei Suo's. Wei Suo does not release the divine consciousness. By relying on the mind-devouring bug's mind, he can also slightly perceive the surrounding lust shape. Moreover, the life of this purple flame giant beetle is still a strong great treasure, although he has dug out a great treasure group blood row, but it should not be fatal. But after fleeing from North Spirit City, where do you escape? And the most important thing is that the injury in Wei Suo naked body has been completely sealed, and it is necessary to start healing soon, otherwise it will definitely hurt and fall. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Ziyi. Chapter 651. Daigo Shenkuo, this desolate ancient Shenkuo saw only records, our Xianfeng men certainly don't have. This kind of wild ancient holy fruit is too rare, even scarcer than the spirit Y like the purple fox, and it can be encountered but not sought. Beiling City may have been spread by spread beasts. In the early morning, the three-legged Huanjiu dating almost flew north against the sky dome, and Wei Suo and others above the dating talked from time to time. The monster in the dark mist was too powerful, and was fortunately attracted by the burning heavenly god furnace, otherwise they and the others would most likely fall directly into the dark mist. The pedestrians are now thousands of miles away from the dark fog and only half a day away from the North Spirit City, but at the moment of sight, they are still like the migration of monsters. Although they are not thousands of miles away, the monsters and beasts inside are densely rainy, but the number of black spots on the sky and the ground in the distance is also amazing. Beiling City is only an city that does not even have Jindan monks. It is half the size of the Zodiac City and Tianchu City. In fact, for the monks in the northern part of Tianqian continent, Beiling City is just like the inn is the same as the inn, and the total number of monks who usually stay often is estimated to be no more than 40,000. If the northern spirit city has already lost its guard, the ancient teleportation circle is damaged, then Wei Suo and others will not be able to reach the Yunling continent, and it is very likely to fall into the siege of the Jinwu sect and the Xianfeng men. Lin Taixu has found their traces, and now Wei Suo and others can already imagine that a large number of Xianfeng men and Jinwuzong monks have swept in. But the worst situation is not limited to this, and now Wei Suo and others are still at a loss, and now the sky dome is cracked. I'm afraid there are no monks at this moment. Because there are no other monks, under such circumstances, at such an amazing speed, they will traverse such a long area continuously. Even if there are monks who want to spread the news, they are certainly not as fast as they are. In other words, most of the monks in the northern part of the Tianqian continent now only know that there are 1 or 2 sky dome breaches, but they do not know that there are already 3 sky dome cracks in the area of tens of thousands of miles. If it is just these 3 cracks, the strength of the sect men such as the Northern Ming sect may still be printed one by one, but if there are more rifts, even if there is one more super sect men like the Northern Ming sect, it is impossible to seal all the gaps in a short time. Because of the teleportation circle in the northern part of Tianqian continent, almost all of them have been damaged or disabled. The supernatural powers of these monks of the super sect men have been amazing, and it takes a long time to go from one place to another. It is only for these 3 sky dome rifts that the best case is estimated to take at least 7 or 8 days to seal all 3 sky dome crevices. And these 7 or 8 days, such an amazing beast, is enough to sweep around dozens of cities around. And this is still the best situation. The longer the sky dome has not been blocked, the more powerful monsters in the wilderness will arrive. The number of high-level monsters in the wild wilderness is indeed very large, and many powerful monsters in the depths of the wild have never appeared in front of the monks since the sky dome existed. I thought that the amazing monster in the dark mist, with the experience of the old man in green robe, had never heard of it. The sky dome cracked, if it has begun completely, then according to today's situation, it is indeed the same as Wei Suo's previous thought. There is no need to wait for the sky dome to collapse completely, as long as the gap is broken continuously, and more than a dozen mouths are broken continuously. The monks in the northern part of the Xian mainland could not be blocked at all. Not to mention the entire Tianqian continent at the time, at least the entire northern part of the Tianqian continent must have fallen into a complete lun. I am afraid that no city can be intact. Moreover, it is extremely difficult to escape from the endless wild wasteland outside the sky dome from the northern part of Tianqian continent to Yunling continent. Because as long as there is a gap in the sky dome, if monsters can pass through, then in this sky dome, for monsters, it is really like a magical garden in Qingcheng ruin. There are monks everywhere, there are spirits everywhere, many monsters. The beasts will travel long distances and gather towards the sky dome. At that time, the density of monsters outside the sky dome in the northern part of Tianqian continent is definitely not comparable to that of usual. At this moment, the 3-legged Huang Yuding has once again given the Water Linger Imperial Ambassador, as soon as possible towards the north Lingcheng Gge. With the passage of time, the 3-legged Huanjiu is getting closer and closer to Biling City. Inside and outside the Biling City is a scene that most monks have never seen before. In the wilderness within a few tens of miles outside the North Spirit City, there are scattered remains of some monsters and monks, and there are potholes everywhere, all of which are traces of explosions and impacts of spells and magic weapons. This area feels like a huge battlefield, very tragic. But at this moment, there are no living monsters in this area. Tens of miles away, in all directions, there are at least thousands of brilliances surging, and from time to time there are explosions and shocks. Judging from this situation, it seems that the North Spirit City has fought a battle with the monster, completely blocking the invasion of the monster, and the monsters that have already attacked are blocked for dozens of miles away. But at the moment, within the relatively calm tens of miles outside the North Spirit City, there are at least hundreds of monks on the go. Some of these hundreds of monks are inscribed with runes on the ground, inlaid with crystals, and banned by setting up the magic circle. Some monks dig deep pits and bury some magical objects that seem to block monsters from entering the ground. Some monks are constantly inspiring spells, turning into quagmire, ice pond, and piles of burning fire. One of them seems to be the leader of the scarred face monk in the green robe, but he is constantly inspiring a crimson crystal ball magic weapon with a big fist. The surface of the crystal ball of this kind of fist big eye is very bright, and there is a lot of aura of fire. As he reached out a little, he flew up, suspended in the air, and then motionless. Now the faces of these monks are all as if they are facing the enemy and the adversity is coming. At the periphery of the city wall of Biling City, there are at least 100 monks running non-stop, These monks are in a white-browed old man wearing a grey robe and a yellow robe dressed in a thin monk, the division of labor under the command of the young monk. I saw that outside the wall of the ordinary earth and stone covered with weeds, which was originally not tall, under the spell of these monks, a large half of the wall had appeared again. The wall thickness of this half circle is as high as more than 20 feet, which is only 7 to 8 times the height of the wall that was originally used only to divide the city from the outside. Among these hundreds of monks, many monks first applied the earth system law or the earth system law symbol, which gave people the feeling of what is the use, and constantly turned out mounds, stone walls, stone pillars, and other objects to form the periphery, the rudiment of the city wall, and then some monks, but from the surroundings took the big stone to fill it. Many monks flew out of the North Spirit City. These monks brought out all kinds of melted jing gold and iron juice. These monks poured these jing gold and iron juice directly into the prototype of the city wall, and then continued to fly back into the city and continue to carry jing gold and iron juice out. There are a lot of monks outside, but at the same time, some tough carapace and other objects on the monsters are thrown into it, making the city wall stronger. At this moment in the northern spirit city, densely packed, the monks were all mobilized. In addition to the fact that almost all furnace houses in the city are smelting jing gold, some shops have piled up many talismans, rituals, and smelting materials, which are free for monks to use. In many places in the city, a lot of huge catapults have been built, and a large number of thunderstones and other objects have been placed in the back. The thin, middle-aged Taoist priests wearing earth-gray robes and white eyebrows wearing yellow robes stood and built around Biling City. A high place on the wall of the carapace. From time to time, a monk flew to the two, and then quickly flew into the city and out of the city, seemingly conveying orders for the two. At the moment, the E on the face of the old white-browed and thin middle-aged Taoist priest seemed calm, but his eyelids were beating from time to time, showing that his heart was also very nervous and shocked. Tianmo Taoist, this time thank you, and Anyuan Taoist here, otherwise I am afraid that these monsters have already rushed into the city. Guo, the North Spirit City has been completely mixed with the Lun. I don't know how many monks have died from fatalities. Looking at dozens of miles away, countless blooms of smoke everywhere, the white-browed old man sighed softly at the thin, middle-aged Taoist priest. Looking at beasts of this size, they are overwhelming, but the number is not so dense. It must have been from a crack in the sky dome. Within tens of thousands of miles outside, it must have been all monsters. The density is all almost. Biling City is already in the center of a huge storm. Ordinary monks, if they leave Biling City, they will certainly not be able to escape. Only by sticking to Biling City can there be a way to live. The Taoist nodded slightly, but his voice was spreading like thunder, which could be heard inside and outside the city. And this beast, even if the of the sky dome is blocked at this moment, there is no successor monster beast. It is estimated that it will last at least a few hours. Only if everyone works together can it be possible to hold the North Spirit City. As long as you guard the Northern Spirit City and kill the monsters, everyone assigns, everyone can get countless benefits, which is also an amazing opportunity. Stop the Biling City, kill these monsters, and divide these monsters. With a bang, the words of the thin middle-aged priest just fell, and countless monks inside and outside the Biling City shouted. As the so-called Kabo warms people's hearts and spirits and red eyes, it is definitely not necessary to let ordinary monks and monsters desperately try, but if they can kill countless monsters, everyone will be able to tell the difference. Knowing how many monsters, this amazing return, but enough to make most monks into desperation. Tianmo Daiyu, you deserve to be a character who has experienced two beasts. If Biling City can survive, it is all given by you and Anyuan Daiyu, but today you are killed in public to serve the public. Among the famous monks, two have some relationship with the Zongmen under the Ghost Palace, and may cause great trouble in the future. Hearing the outcry from inside and outside the city, the old man with white eyebrows added a little more to the thin middle-aged Taoist. Respect, but he couldn't help saying something worried. It's no longer possible to scruple. The thin, middle-aged Taoist glanced at the old white-browed man and smiled bitterly. Among such beasts, you can live and talk. A Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Ziwei. Chapter 652. Chapter 652 Guanshan Sunset. Great treasure. Most cultivators are built on the mountain, so at this moment Wei Suo can't judge which city it is. It is certain that this is definitely not North Spirit City. The blood row of this purple flame giant beetle has solidified and cold, but it has not rotted. Judging from this point, it should be dead for 2 to 3 days. Generally this kind of monster beast, after 4 days, the blood row will begin to rot. The Wei Suo divine consciousness swept over, and there was no scar in the rest of the purple flame beetle. It should be because the blood dong that he dug out and the continuous non-stop journey caused the vitality to be cut off. According to Wei Suo's previous judgment, the damage of this purple flame giant beetle is not serious. At least 7 or 8 days will be cut off, plus at least 2 or 3 days of death. That is, it has been almost 10 days. Time is up. 10 days. Wei Suo was shocked by the time he calculated himself. I have been faint for 10 days or so. This judgment made Wei Suo unable to stop. According to Hidden Dragon Bead Spitting Secrets, it is only 10 days, the closed position in the naked body can be opened, and the cultivation base can be restored. So, in just 2 or 3 days, your cultivation base can be restored? This is now. Let Wei Suo lick a great treasure for a while. If it is really 10 days, this purple flame giant beetle is going all the way to escape south according to his previous instructions. For 10 days, there is no day and night, but at least 70,080 miles. Distance. More than 30,000 miles north of the North Spirit City is Bright Sky City, then Qingluo City, Guanshan City. According to this distance, it is already in Guanshan City. Guanshan City is North Spirit City to Heavenly Profound Continent part depth of the third city, and before the Green Northern City is Luo Heavenly Continent northern part of the Great Treasure City. Green Luo Great Treasure is the Heavenly Profound Continent northern part fifth of the Pope Men, is also a number of Golden Core Cultivator, and Great the Treasure has a Great Treasure Nathan Shapeshift Great Art Printing Shapeshift Great Art, but also Heaven Level Mid-Level Shapeshift Great Art. It's very powerful. If Guanshan City has been damaged, then Bright Sky City and Qingluo City along the way must have disappeared. No wonder Mind-Devouring Bug ran to know where to go. Before he was faint, he let Mind-Devouring Bug control the purple flame beetle all the way to the south. Now the purple flame giant beetle is dead. He is too faint for too long. His mind-devouring bug it was temporarily lost control, and it must have gone out an autonomous predation. I don't know what Jia is doing. Wei Suo's thoughts couldn't help but have some Hunwan Yuan, and immediately thought of Jia and others. At that time, Ancient transmitted the Shapeshift Great Art Array, which was completely transmitted. It was definitely no problem for Jia and others to transfer to Cloud Spirit Continent safely. But under the lust shape, Wei Suo didn't think he could survive. They must have thought that he has fallen. However, no matter what, their temporary safety should be no problem. Now, the most important thing is to ensure that you don't want to fall. Wei Suo's divine consciousness put it all out and carefully felt the surrounding lust shape. Under the guise of his divine consciousness, this completely ruined city is dead, without any cultivator. However, there is still a monster beast activity in the city. The number of monster beasts is not as dense as that of Beast Tide. In the half stick of incense time, there are 5 or 6 monster beasts in the area. The density of this monster beast, the great treasure, is only about the time when the heavens dome is more dense than the wilderness. And Wei Suo feels that 2 or 3 of the 5 or 6 heads are passing by, and they are on the road, but there are 2 of them, but it seems to be wandering around. Already in this secret place foraging, it seems that I have to stay nearby and settle down. This kind of situation makes Wei Suo's heart cold again. Without the existence of the cultivator, it means that the secret place is not known within a few thousand miles, or within the control of the monster beast. Maybe Beast Tide is still attacking the rest of the cultivator city. This area, which is equivalent to the territory of the monster beast, is also likely to have a strong monster beast at any time. Although his mind-devouring bug is a little closer to him, he can resume control of the mind-devouring bug, but at this point his mind-devouring bug may not run farther. According to his injury at the moment, even after 2 or 3 days, the closed niches in the naked body are all turned on, and the true Yuan cultivation base is restored, but the true Yuan is still called without the shapeshift great art great treasure. At least 5 days or so, the damaged meridians and guilts in the naked body will be good. 7788, when he is the cultivation base, the amazing golden core 4th layer great treasure cultivator, in these 4 or 5 days. Within the time, he is still a weak person who may not be able to deal with even 4 level 5 monster beasts. And when Lin Taixu shot him out of the shapeshift great art, he threw the slave bags with Yang Rougebird and Blue Luan in the shapeshift great art. These 2 slave bags will definitely be sent to the edge of Cloud Spirit Continent with Jiyat and others, and the safety of Yang Rougebird and Blue Luan is certainly no problem. At that time, he thought he was going to fall, so he did it, but at this time his Black Bone Dark Lord was also destroyed. Yang Rougebird and Blue Luan were not on his body, even mind-devouring bug was far away from the secret place. At the moment of the lust shape, he has no effective protection at all. And he has a lot of hard work in this mind-devouring bug. If this mind-devouring bug had any accident during this period of loss of control, then for him, the loss is really great treasure. It is. Just think about it this way, he just felt that his mouth was suffering. However, he has no choice at all, and he can only stay in the naked body of the purple flame beetle. Great treasure. After half a day, Wei Suo, who was closed for 2 purposes, moved slightly in the naked body of the purple flame beetle. The naked body seemed to be able to move freely, pushing the surrounding insects row away. A little farther away. Then he immediately closed the eyes and healed it. But it didn't take long for this time, but his eyes suddenly slammed open, and the god of coldness in his eyes. After seeing him bite his teeth hard, the white light flashed in his hand, and there was a white C-shaped shapeshift great art great treasure in the storage bracelet. This shapeshift great art great treasure looks like a naked body, like a cold ice, but it's a Wei Suo that hasn't been used at all. It was previously used as a spiritual stones in the treasure receiving pocket. Spirit rank is the product of shapeshift great art great treasure. Just using the true UNG storage bracelet, it obviously made his face white, and it also affected the injuries inside the naked body. After taking out this shapeshift great art great treasure, Wei Suo didn't move at all, just waiting for something. Pa! Pa! The purple flame giant beetle suddenly vibrates, and the surging sound of the impact is outside. A surging sound soon after the impact, and the sound of the surging sound of tearing and swallowing was apparent. It seems that there is something that is swallowing the blood row of this purple flame giant beetle. Wei Suo's face is extremely ugly. It didn't take long for a surging sound to ring, and the thick carapace covered by the 2 pieces of the purple flame giant beetle was actually opened. Chi! I saw that Wei Suo's face was changed, and there was no slight stop. He had a white skin-shaped shapeshift great art great treasure. A blizzard of cold white chills, immediately rushing upwards. Open the 2-piece carapace of the purple flame giant beetle. It is a 2-headed shape like a otter, but the body is covered with black scales, the mouth is full of sharp teeth, and a stinking mouth water flows out of the mouth of the monster beast. These 2 stinking monster beasts figure and a cultivator are almost great treasure xiao, and there are still a lot of purple-red se shards on the teeth. It seems that they have already eaten some other parts of the purple flame giant beetle. But eating is not enough. Soxing will split the 2 semicircular carapace of the purple flame giant beetle, and eat a meal with great treasure. These two monster beasts did not even think of the existence of a cultivator below. There was no way to make any moves at all. The two monster beasts were just halfway into the body, and they were squirted by Wei Suoji's whiteness. The front half of the two monster beast was suddenly frozen into a hail, and then the cold white rushed by the whites. The two hailstones were directly broken by the half-monster beast inside. The two monster beasts were suddenly attacked by Wei Suo and killed. But at the same time, Wei Suo's naked body trembled. The white Xiao disc shapeshift great art great treasure on the spirit light great treasure, and this kind of monster beast came into the head. Bite in one bite I lived in Wei Suo's hand with this white Xiao disc, and then dragged it. It was like pulling the radish, directly pulling Wei Suo out of the naked body of the purple flame beetle. Pu saw Wei Suo by this head monster beast dragged to the body of the purple flame giant beetle, but instead forcibly put his hand to this head monster beast throat in a nedpsp. This head monster beast eyes immediately raised, all covered with a jo. Immediately, Wei Suo's hand from this head monster beast's mouth pulled out, holding several not know is the throat or esophagus organ. This head monster beast of the mouth of the gush great treasure regiment blood, ch the ou. Twitching for a while, but it was immediately motionless. Wei Suo's mouth licked a bloodshot, softly sitting on the back of the purple flame giant beetle, and even breathing did not dare the great treasure mouth breathing, for fear of causing more damage in his naked body. The rot, level 4 mid-level, specializes in the murder of some monster beast corpse naked body blood row for the birth of the monster beast. The three heads of Wei Suo's kill are such monster beasts. Now, only the three heads are rotted in the line of sight, but Wei Suo's eyes are extremely shocking at the moment. At this moment, he was in a city that was completely ruined, almost exactly in the middle of the city. The entire city has no visible half-complete buildings. The secret place is a broken wall, and the secret place is covered with irregular fragments that have been destroyed by various shapeshift great art forces. The ground is removed by shapeshift great. In addition to the various holes formed by the impact of art, there are many deep gullies. Xiao is like a snake dong, but the great treasure is 1 or 2 squares. The exit secret place is grounded and cracked. The cultivator's broken shapeshift great art clothing and broken bones are visible to the secret place, and the ground is covered with a variety of monster beast corpses. At this time, the sun is setting, and the entire city is like a sunset in the blood. The scale of this city is at least 5 times more than the great treasure of the North Spirit City. The area around the city built by the mountains, the place where the line of sight is the Greystone Se gravel plain of the great treasure piece of great treasure. Xuanhuan City. The city that he is in at the moment is indeed Xuanhuan City. Because although I have never been to Xuanhuan City before, I don't know much about Xuanhuan City, but Wei Suo used to see the map of heavenly profound continent northern part before, but it was deep in the green gravel plain around Xuanhuan City. Impression. More than 5,000 miles around Xuanhuan City, this is a desert-like green ash se gravel plain. The reason why he was very impressed is because it was said that tens of thousands of years ago, a cultivator tried shapeshift great art after breaking through to divine mystic realm third layer in Xuanhuan City, and the result was a smashing of a green stone mountain. Destroyed, all powdered, formed this piece of grey ash se gravel plain. But Wei Suo also remembers very clearly that there are only a few low iron thorns growing on the plain of the grey sand gravel outside Xuanhuan City. Some of these years of growth can be used to refine the shapeshift great art. But now in the plains around Xuanhuan City, looking at it, there are already several strange trees that have grown. Many of these trees have grown to a height of a few feet. There is a kind of phosphorescence on the trees with greenish se, and many hua-like flowers like dandelions. In addition, there is a kind of purple sihua flower with a wash basin great treasure xiao on the tree, which gives a strange feeling without any reason. There is also a kind of berry with red se on the top of the tree. It is also full of watermelon-like great treasure xiao, which looks very rosy. Not only in the plains outside of Xuanhuan City, but even among the ruins of this Xuanhuan city, there are quite a few places, and these strange trees have grown. And unlike Wei Suo's imagination, this moment is completely ruined, like a giant great treasure Xuanhuan, but it is extremely silent, not as he imagined, monster beast to secret place visible look like that. And the most surprising thing is that he saw almost all the monster beast around, except for some monster beasts below the third level. The great treasure of most monster beast has been removed, and some of them are particularly useful. The parts that have been used to refine the shapeshift great art have disappeared. This is definitely not a monster beast, because the monster beast will not take some of the material and other materials that are particularly suitable for artifact refinement, even if you want to swallow the monster core and blood row of the remaining monster beast. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Zy. Chapter 653. Chapter 653 Corn Mine City Cultivator. The setting sun is falling, and only a touch of red sunset is left in the sky. There are scattered green trees, phosphorescent trees, purple sihua with a face basin great treasure xiao, and strange trees with red se berries. These three trees, green-robed old man, may be recognized. But just after killing the three heads of rot, Wei Suo took action under True Yuan. Many of the previously recovered meridians and gilts in the naked body recracked. This great treasure half-day healing can be said to have been abandoned. Now Wei Suo is a fundamentally coherent node with True UNG storage bracelet. Ghost raising jar can't be done at all. And in the end, the rot that dragged him out, his arm forced a shot, although the rotted throat and other things were pulled out and killed, but this time, many of his half-body inside the naked body the place is cracking very seriously, and now his half-body naked body is already unable to move. He can even feel it clearly. In the half-body of his half-body, many of the broken bones that have just been connected are refragmented. The meridians and the inner shackles are many broken places, and they begin to bleed. I don't think I will eventually fall here. Sitting down on the purple flame giant beetle, Wei Suo, who looked at the last red sun in the sky, showed a very bitter god se, and a surging sound sighed. Shortly after his surging sound sighed, the two green eyes appeared from the ruins on the left side of Wei Suo, and quickly approached the direction of Wei Suo. It is also a two-headed rod. Although Wei Suo fled the northern spirit city with the help of the purple flame giant beetle, the purple flame giant beetle seemed to be a rare delicious food for the rod, and the rod was passed around and was attracted. This level 4 monster beast, Wei Suo can easily kill between the fingers, but at this moment Wei Suo injured half of the naked body cannot move, even leaving the purple flame giant beetle without shapeshift great art. These two monster beasts are definitely not what he can handle. However, Wei Suo suddenly jumped his brow and immediately reluctantly removed the storage bracelet from his hand and stuffed it into his arms. At this moment, he actually felt that two cultivators had entered the scope of his divine consciousness, and he swept in the right rear side of his naked body, as if he had heard his surging sound sigh. This is completely like the Xuanhuan funeral of the giant great treasure, the lifeless city, and the existence of the cultivator. For this moment, one of the two rots has reached the bottom of the purple flame giant beetle, and the smell of odor is coming. Eating rot, sure enough, there is a surviving fellow deist. He is still not dead. But at this time, a surging sound with some surging sound is sounded. At the same time, a surging sound of exploded, and a flame of green se hit the rod of the purple flame beetle. The rod was beaten upside down by two heads, and the scales of the head were cracked, but it looked like the wound was not heavy. The surging sound was roaring, and the other rod was not affected by Wei Suo. Flew towards the back of Wei Suo's. At this point, Wei Suo has turned around a little hard. His rear is really two cultivators. One of the two cultivators was an old man in his 50s, wearing a black se robes that looked a bit thin and had a yellowish head. The other cultivator is a stout young man wearing a yellow se shirt, looks like a thick look. Wei Suo looked at the two people at the same time. The two men were also looking at Wei Suo and saw Wei Suo's bloody look. Both of them looked suspicious, but they felt that Wei Suo's breath was not arrogant. The gods of these two cultivators are also slightly loose. Pa! A surging sound. I saw a 50-year-old black robe and a thin old man who gave a golden glittering print. He squatted on one of the rotted bodies and smashed the rot. In the middle, the movement did not move. Fellow deist, where did you come from? Are you hit hard? At the same time, the black-skinned old man asked Wei Suo surging sound. I came from North Spirit City. Wei Suo eyes flash, smiled bitterly. The injury is too heavy now, and there is almost no shapeshift great art. North Spirit City. The black robe and the thin old man's naked body were slightly shocked, but there was no slight stop. It was the golden glittering seal, and the other one was beaten by the young cultivator. Have nothing to breathe. Let's go. After killing the two rotten carvings, the black robe and the young cultivator did not stop at all, plucked into Wei Suo's and made a be careful surging sound against Wei Suo. Immediately, the young cultivator immediately put Wei Suo on his back and flew out in the direction of the two. In the ruins of non-stop shuttle thousands of miles away, black-robed old and honest youth cultivator in a pile of rubble in front of the ruins, then the black robe of the elderly opened one of the great treasure stone, below is a kind of artificial dug out of the channel, then the black robe and the gaunt old man and carry Wei Suo's honest young cultivator immediately swept in, and the upper great treasure stone again cover. Underneath the ruins of this pile of stones, it is actually a simple stone chamber without great treasure, and there is also a xiao-shaped shapeshift great art array on the ground, with a faint golden brilliance, with a thick gold and iron atmosphere. Once plunged into this simple stone chamber, the black robes and the old cultivator were relieved. I don't know how fellow deist is called. What hurts? What kind of healing Dainao is needed? Then the black robe and the thin old man put Wei Suo be careful on the side and the young cultivator, and looked at Wei Suo. In the next season, Li was hit by a brute force monster beast. The inside of the half body of the naked body was more serious, so there was no shapeshift great art. However, I have already taken Danyao, and as long as there is no more monster beast, I can calm down and he will not have any problems. Thanks to the two fellows of fellow deist for their help. I don't know what the two fellow deist call it. Is this Xuanhuan city cultivator? Wei Suo looked at the black robes and the old cultivator, and he was completely relieved. It seems now that this black robe and the cultivator are not like the kind of cultivator that will kill the great treasure. It turned out to be fellow deist G. The black robe and the old man looked at Wei Suo and clicked on the honest young man next to him. He said, in the lower name, the original is the treasurer of Corn Mine City U Stone Shop. This is the Xiaotou Luchang. Two are from Corn Mine City. There was another bitter smile on Wei Suo's face. Although he does not even have shapeshift great art in the aura determining technique, the cultivation base of the black-robed old man is at most the heavenly circuit, from the lust-shaped old man and the lust shape of the handsome young shapeshift great art. Realm 3rd layer's cultivation base, and this young and most popular is only the cultivation base of heavenly circuit realm 1st layer. Moreover, these two people are still only the shopkeepers and buddies of a shop. They are a golden core great treasure cultivator. They were saved by a treasurer and a buddy. Their secret place is really too miserable. We arrived at this secret place from Corn Mine City. I can't think of a fellow deist from North Spirit City in this secret place. Black robe and thin old man hole dispensers took a deep breath, eyes look at Wei Suo. I don't know the lust shape of North Spirit City. North Spirit City has been completely ruined. Except for thousands of cultivators who have escaped from the ancient shapeshift great art array with the help of several golden core cultivators, few people have escaped. Wei Suo called Tru Yuan as soon as possible, while looking at Kong Cheng cabinet and Luchang youth Luchang, asked, what is the lust shape of Corn Mine City? Corn Mine City has also been completely destroyed in Beast Tide. The face of the whole dispenser and Luchang's face slid down instantly. I am afraid that few people have escaped. Whole dispenser, Lu fellow deist, how did you escape and ran to this Xuanhuan city? Kong Sai cabinet and Lu Cheng's answer are not to be missed by Wei Suo's. Corn Mine City and North Spirit City are about 20,000 miles away from Heaven First City, and it is impossible to survive in this size of beast tide. Now Wei Suo just wants to know how much the whole shopkeeper and Lu Cheng know about the lust shape of the heavenly profound continent northern part. After all, he fainted for about 10 days, knowing nothing about the lust shape around him, and just look at it. Xuanhuan City, Wei Suo has been extremely surprised. And Wei Suo also thinks that it is incredible to go to the Xuanhuan city with the whole dispenser and Lu Cheng's cultivation base, which can span 70,000-80,000 miles. We can escape to this secret place, purely just a fluke. Mainly rely on this shapeshift great art array and my two friends. There was also a bitter smile on the face of the whole dispenser. I ordered a little shapeshift great art array arranged on the ground. I explained a little bit. At the time of beast tide, I was with a friend of mine. Our shop mine, a shop in Corn Mine City, rushed to Bright Sky City for a Xiao-shaped auction. It was on the way to Bright Sky City. I later felt that beast tide exploded, and I and shopkeeper Qian immediately hid in a secret place. My shapeshift great art array can make the monster beast mistakenly think that it is surrounded by the Jing gold belt, so we are hiding in the ground, and the monster beast of the bandit does not pass through the place we hide, but survived. If we were not in the wilderness of Bright Sky City, we were in the vicinity of Corn Mine City and Bright Sky City. Even if we hide in this way, there must be no secret place, and it must not survive. Because the monster beast around this city is too dense, the underground of the city is full of holes. So many strong treasures of the monster beast, I am afraid that when the siege, even if it is the Jing gold belt, but also hard to arch, we will certainly not hide. We were in a secret place in the Corn Mine City and Bright Sky City central wilderness, hiding for 3 days, and waiting until the number of monster beasts passing around has become scarce, then go to King Glogo City and then turn around. I arrived at this Xuanhuan City. Speaking of this secret place, hole in the eyes of the shopkeeper and unconsciously flow one you out of the fear of the god Se, we expect the Qing Luo city great treasure a number of golden core great treasure cultivator sits, and powerful cultivator many, should be able to guard live. We rushed to Green Luo city, on the relatively safe, but did not think, we rushed to the Green Luo city, is already a piece of waste soil. The entire Qing Luo city has ceased to exist, and we have not seen a living cultivator. Is Qing Luo city similar to this Xuanhuan city? Wei Suo's brows slightly wrinkled. What he cares most now is how far the current beast tide is. After all, whether beast tide has been suppressed, if not, how many monster beasts go, how can this Xuanhuan city be so dead? Monster, the number of beast is not much. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Zy. Chapter 654. Chapter 654. What is the outside world? The number of monster beasts around Qing City is much higher than that of Xuanhuan City. There was also a strong high-level monster beast in King Glogo City. We didn't dare to enter. We hid and spent 2 days near King Glogo City before we rushed to Xuanhuan City. The whole dispenser looked at Wei Suo. On these 2 days, the number of monster beasts seems to be scarce, but from time to time there is a monster beast coming from Heaven's Dome. After the passage, the gap of Heaven's Dome may not be blocked. You can escape all the way to the whole dispensers. Is there any special shapeshift great art device besides the shapeshift great art array? Wei Suo then asked. Before listening to the treasure shopkeeper, it was with the shopkeeper Qian to escape, then shopkeeper Qian now secret place. With us all the way to escape, in addition to shopkeeper Qian, there is also an apprentice of shopkeeper Qian, named Zhang Nian. The whole dispenser looked at the passage coming in from the rear and explained, they are now searching in other areas of Xuanhuan City. See if you can find some yayat or some shapeshift great art great treasure that can complement True Yuan. After the meal, Kong's shopkeeper added, to be honest, we've got a few shapeshift great art great treasures around Qingluo City, but Dan Yao, who can quickly add True Yuan to her body, has already consumed almost also. I arranged this shapeshift great art array, which is also a few pieces of material now it is almost consumed. Shopkeeper Qian and his apprentices are mainly looking for some original shops to see if they can get some Dan in the ruins of these shops Yao and I used to lay out the material of this shapeshift great art array. As for fellow Daoist G, what special thing about the shapeshift great art is that you have a bottle of gourd, and these golden spirit bees can fly thousands of miles, and if you feel any monster beast, these gold there is a unique way of communicating messages between the bees, which can quickly make shopkeeper Qian feel it. Golden bee, Wei Suo's eyes on the movement. I heard that this kind of spirit bee has a limited lifespan, or it is not used at all. If you want to use it, after flying out, it will die in 10 days. Moreover, this kind of golden spirit bee is very strange, or it is not expensive, and all the flying is to fly out of the whole group. True, there was a bitter smile on the face of the whole dispenser. Shopkeeper Qian's batch of Jinling bees can only last for a few days, and they should all die. By the way, speaking of this secret place, the whole shopkeeper remembered what it was like, looking at Wei Suo and asking, fellow Daoist G, when did you get to this Xuanhuan city? You are not saying that there are several great treasure cultivators protecting the North Spirit City cultivator from the ancient shapeshift great art array? Why didn't you escape from the ancient shapeshift great art array? How can you escape from the North Spirit City to this Xuanhuan city? There was an unusual terrifying, the strength of which could reach the level 9 of the unknown monster beast, and defeated the ancient transmission of the shapeshift great art array. There were 4,000 or 5,000 cultivators that were not able to escape from the shapeshift great art. I was already hit hard. I didn't do under shapeshift great art. I used a one-man control of the shapeshift great art to control a purple flame giant beetle, and then dug a blood dong on its back. In it. Soon after, I fell into a faint me, and when I woke up, I was already in this Xuanhuan city. Wei Suo looked at the whole shopkeeper and Lu Cheng and smiled bitterly. The purple flame beetle that I am in has been dead for 2 to 3 days. Judging by this time, I should have been to Xuanhuan city for 2 to 3 days. But I woke up just half a day before this great treasure. And before, it was always in the purple flame giant beetle, and it was not even half an hour. Fellow Daoist G is so hurt that he can escape in this way, and it is really great treasure. Hearing that Wei Suo escaped with the purple flame giant beetle, both the Kong treasurer and Lu Cheng were amazed. By the way, since fellow Daoist is only half an hour away from the purple flame giant beetle, the monster core and some artifact refinement materials of many monster beasts in Xuanhuan city are not collected by fellow Daoist. But then, the whole dispensers remembered what it was like, and the eyes of the gods were very shocked. Nature is not, so to say, these monster core and artifact refinement materials are not collected by the whole dispensers. Wei Suo is also awkward. I only saw you appear, I thought these things were collected by you. We only arrived at Xuanhuan city at noon today. According to this time, we went to this Xuanhuan city time later than fellow Daoist, and then we will find this secret place and build this shapeshift great art array. First, we will not have this place. It was also just to go out and search, just to hear the surging sound of fellow Daoist, just to save the fellow Daoist. Kong and Lu Cheng looked at each other. The monster core of these monster beasts and the materials suitable for artifact refinement are not collected by us. So, there are already other cultivators that have passed before. Wei Suo frowned. I don't know if you know the different kinds of trees outside. These trees have not been heard before. The whole dispenser shook his head and said, it is probably the seed of these trees that is carried on some monster beast. It grows after falling down. These trees look very different, and they grow a lot along the way from Qingluo city to Xuanhuan city. As we approached, we saw that the bodies of several cultivators were under the tree that had red fruits. so we were afraid to approach them. Is there any understanding of the outside news from the whole dispenser? Wei Suo couldn't help but ask such a sentence. We don't know what it is like this beast tide. To be honest, fellow Daoist G is the only living person we have seen in the past 10 days. This way, I only saw the corpse of the cultivator, and even connected to the Xuanhuan city, it has become a waste of one Yuan funeral. We can't help but create an illusion that within Heaven's Dome, it has been completely occupied by the monster beast, and it is no different from the wilderness outside. The whole dispenser sighed. Wei Suo was also speechless. Now I know almost nothing about the outside world. I don't know what kind of city the beast tide has spread to, but I'm sure there is definitely no seal on the Heaven's Dome, so the direction of Heaven's Dome is still monster beast from time to time. Influx. But this doesn't make much sense to Wei Suo, because even if it's blocked, Heaven's Dome may still break. What he wants to know now is which city to escape to is safer. Pa. At this time, there was a sudden and audible explosion of the surging sound, which was obviously the surging sound of the shapeshift great art. This surging sound makes Wei Suo and the whole shopkeeper and Lu Cheng's face se change at the same time. After a while, the upper 1 yuan stone was moved away, and a breeze came in. Immediately, a man wearing a purple-red se dress, full of white, face ruddy, looks like a good-looking old man and a very cautious, ordinary Tsingyi young man swept in. This, at first glance at Wei Suo lying on the ground, the old man and the young Tsingyi who seemed to be somewhat cautious were full of surprised gods. Old money, what happened to the motion? The whole dispenser was a little nervous and asked immediately. It is just the 2 wolf head bats that have been solved. The old man wearing a purple-red se dress and the young man in Tsingyi are obviously the shopkeeper Qian and his disciple. After quickly responding to the sentence, shopkeeper Qian immediately looked at Wei Suo on the ground and asked, "What about this fellow Daoist?" This fellow Daoist is Gli. He is a cultivator who escaped from the North Spirit City. The injury is very heavy. When we went out to search, it just happened to hit the whole dispenser, said to shopkeeper Qian. I don't think I can meet other surviving cultivators in this secret place, fellow Daoist G. I am lucky. Shopkeeper Qian looks excited. As the whole shopkeeper said, for 10 consecutive days, I couldn't see a living cultivator. They even produced a feeling that the entire Heaven's Dome was occupied by the monster beast. Now I saw a strange survivor. The cultivator is also very G-moving. I don't think fellow Daoist G actually escaped with a purple flame giant beetle. Fellow Daoist G is also a great treasure. Next, shopkeeper Qian and Wei Suo and the whole dispensers talked about Xiao. They heard that Wei Suo was hiding in the purple flame beetle, and shopkeeper Qian and others were in a while. Old money, have you found anything out? After a few more words, Kong's treasurer went back to the scene and looked at shopkeeper Qian. Nope. Shopkeeper Qian's face suddenly became a bit ugly. Before it was definitely through the Xuanhuan city cultivator, Xuanhuan city searched, not only the monster beast's inner core and useful artifact refinement materials, those stores, the place where the ruins of the city and the city were ruined, there are traces of turning over, and there is no useful thing in it now. And there seems to be a monster beast with a low rank on the east side of the city. How is this good? The whole shopkeeper heard shopkeeper Qian saying so. Suddenly his face was gray, and some of the 6 gods had no ownership. The whole shopkeeper Qian, this shapeshift great art array does not have shapeshift great art lasting. Seeing the god of the whole, the god lust, Wei Suo's brows and jumped and asked. His real cultivation base has reached the golden core 4th layer. As long as there is a period of 4 or 5 days, you cannot be afraid of the great treasure. Most of the monster beast is not comparable to the cultivator of this level. Therefore, under such unfavorable lust conditions, his state of mind is that they do not know how much calmer than the whole shopkeeper. This shapeshift great art array is mainly to consume metal chi stone, which can only last for 10 hours. The metal chi stone and other materials I have on hand can only be placed once more. The whole dispensers took a deep breath, calmed down after the mind, explained. It seems that only the golden sparrow who is riding me can support a few days and continue on the road. Otherwise, in the current lust shape, even if the beast tide is finally suppressed, the cultivator will not be able to regain control of the area within a few days. Although shopkeeper Qian's face is not good looking, but lust does not have a strong bow movement. Obviously, after finding something that is not useful, on the way back, the countermeasures have been considered. The only way is this. Otherwise, there will be a great treasure batch monster beast from heaven's dome from time to time. If we stay here, it will be fierce. Only go to the next secret place city to see if there are quite a few cultivators. The whole dispenser said helplessly. How do we head towards True Darkness City, Netherworld City, where the Green City and Netherworld Palace are located, is only 2 cities away, and maybe it's possible to keep it. After saying this, shopkeeper Qian looked at Wei Suo, who had never said anything. I don't know if fellow Daoist G has any opinions. With the injury of fellow Daoist G, can you hurry? The location of True Darkness City, Wei Suo's eyes flickered for a moment. The direction of True Darkness City is now the southeast direction of their Guanshan City, continuing to the depth of the heavenly profound continent northern part, and Wei Suo feels that his mind-devouring bug also seems to be in that position. I also think it's feasible to go to True Darkness City. There is nothing wrong with my injury. I just didn't do shapeshift great art. I have to bother you with fellow Daoist. If it is not too late, we will go out immediately. From here to True Darkness City, it will take at least 2 or 3 days to arrive before my golden spider will die, otherwise we will have no security. Shopkeeper Qian took a deep breath. If True Darkness City is similar to this Guanshan City, then he really doesn't know what else to do with shapeshift great art. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Zy. Chapter 655. Chapter 655 Survivors. Chapter 655 Survivors. Update time 2011-08-2908, 30:00 word count 3459. VIP chapter content, subscription. After the negotiation was made, Wei Suo was taken up by Lu Cheng, and everyone had this temporary place. At night, the night sky is starry, and the night has come, but the phosphorescence of the trees inside and outside the Guanshan City, which is shining with green phosphorescence, is brighter and looks even more strange. Without any stop, the pedestrian left Guanshan City and headed for True Darkness City. At the beginning of the show, Wei Suo was hesitant in the heart because he knew that Dan Yao, who was used to quickly return True Yuan, was already running out. Like the cultivation base of Heavenly Circuit Realm, True Yuan is not enough. If you cast dozens of Dao Technique shapeshift great art, you may burn out the True Yuan in their naked body and kill some low-grade monsters along the way. Beast, also need to reply to True Yuan's Dan Yao supplement. The number of such Dan Yao in Wei Suo is very large, and most of the great treasures are not used by Wei Suo. They are very suitable for the low-grade cultivator. But after a little hesitation for a while, Wei Suo still held back and said nothing. Because the storage bracelet on hand can be used to store a lot of space, equivalent to a dozen high-level treasure receiving pocket, which is equivalent to 1 or 200 ordinary treasure receiving pocket. In addition to the storage bracelet from the young man of the secret place, he also has an ancient storage ring, which is also equivalent to the capacity of dozens of treasure receiving pockets. So after getting the storage bracelet from the secret place young people in Dragon Burial Mound, Wei Suo's treasure receiving pocket has been given to Ji Ya and Nangong Yuking, etc. in the storage bracelet. From the current lust shape, the whole shopkeeper and shopkeeper Qian are good, but after all, they don't know much about them. Wei Suo can't guarantee that they have seen many of the great treasures in his storage bracelet and the current storage bracelet. Not tempted. So Wei Suo decided to wait until his injury recovered to a certain extent, at least after self-protection, then take some things out of storage bracelet and give them to them. The pedestrians traveled extremely cautiously in the wilderness, and from time to time, they saw the strange trees. Shopkeeper Qian's golden spider is very useful. If there are level 5 or more monster beasts that are within 1,000 miles of them, there will be several Jinling bees flying to the side of Shopkeeper Qian. These golden spirit bees use the surging sound of the wing to transmit the message. This surging sound can be heard for dozens of miles, but only the golden spirit bee can hear it, but the cultivator can't hear it. Which position has a high-level monster beast thousands of miles away, and finally the Jinling bee, which has been staying near Shopkeeper Qian, flew from which direction? Relying on the communication of these golden bees, one morning 2 days later, True Darkness City appeared in the eyes of Wei Suo and others. Dear God, True Darkness City is completely ruined. How many cultivator cities this beast tide ruined? When it was time to clearly see the outline of the entire True Darkness City, the remaining surviving cultivators could not be seen in the past few days, and the whole shopkeeper who had become very fragile could not help but mourn. True Darkness City is not under the size of Guanshan City, and has 5 times the North Spirit City Great Treasure Xiao. The entire True Darkness City is built on top of a small, dusty mountain range, surrounded by the Iron Ash series mountains. It was originally a hilly area full of mountains. But now all the hilly areas around True Darkness City seem to have been burned, and then turned over. The True Darkness City on the Iron Ash SE mountain looks like a ruin, and it seems that there is no complete building at a distance. Many of the secret places in the city seem to have ignited the raging great treasure fire, but now there is still a lingering black smoke. Around the entire True Darkness City, it was dead, and there was no trace of any cultivator activity. Only occasionally there were a few monster beasts that passed through the sky around True Darkness City. I hope there is no high-level monster beast in this True Darkness City, so we can find something useful. Controls a white Yabottle gourd shapeshift great art great treasure, with the crowded shopkeeper Qian not staying in the direction of True Darkness City, but the wrinkles on his face seem to be more. In fact, from this road, close to True Darkness City, you can't see any trace of cultivator. As you know in your heart, True Darkness City is definitely no longer there. Shopkeeper Qian, these things you pick up first. At this time, Wei Suo, who had been sitting next to Lu Cheng, stood up and handed a few things to Shopkeeper Qian. Fellow Daoist Gu. All the mines of Shopkeeper Qian and Kong treasures are concentrated on the True Darkness City in front of the secret place. At this moment, Wei Suo stands up suddenly, and Shopkeeper Qian and others are slightly glimpsed, and see Wei Suo's hands. A few things, Shopkeeper Qian and others are all breathing. In the hands of Wei Suo's, there are 4 shapeshift great art great treasures and a silk pouch with at least 100 danyao. The 4 shapeshift great art great treasures are all spirit light flashing, and it seems that rank is at least above spirit rank middle grade. Fellow Daoist G, is your injury great treasure? After a while, the great treasure of Shopkeeper Qian was removed from the hands of Wei Suo. He did not immediately reach out to pick up the things of Wei Suo's, just asking this first. Temporary body naked body is free to move, there is no problem running and jumping. It's just that there is no shapeshift great art to use True Yuan. If you want to be against the enemy, great treasure will take 2 or 3 days. Wei Suo smiled a little. Although True Darkness City looks the same as Guanshan City, it gives the feeling that the entire heavenly profound continent northern part has been completely destroyed in beast tide, but Wei Suo's heart lust is already a lot easier. In the past 2 days, the damage in his naked body has been restored. As long as the True Yuan is not violently mobilized, some aura determining techniques are applied, and there is no need to consume much of True Yuan's shapeshift great art. It is. And now he has felt that some of the closed niches in his naked body have been reopened, and it may be within this day that he will be closed because of hidden dragon bead spitting secrets. Open all. That is to say, within this day, Wei Suo is likely to return to the cultivation base of the Golden Core 4th layer. Although according to his estimation, at least 2 days, the injury in his naked body will be restored to 7,788, so that he can use true yuan on the great treasure scale, but Wei Suo has already felt that his mind-devouring bug, just in the wilderness behind True Darkness City. For his mind-devouring bug, he ran tens of thousands of miles in a few days, and Wei Suo was very speechless. However, Wei Suo has already felt that by this secret place, he has been able to use mind-devouring bug, and his mind-devouring bug has already rushed toward him. It is estimated that shortly after he arrived at True Darkness City, his mind-devouring bug was already available. His mind-devouring bug may not be able to compete with the monster beast above level 8, but it is used for yin risk, but even the desolate giant scorpion is dead in its hands, as long as it is not particularly powerful. The monster beast, self-protection should be no problem with two great treasure. He even decided that even though True Darkness City and Guanshan City are the same lust shape, he will stay in True Darkness City for 2 or 3 days, and after 2 or 3 days, his divine ability will be exhausted, and many will be lost. Script. There is no great treasure in the eyes of shopkeeper Qian and other people. Wei Suo is only a heavenly circuit. The realm, now heard cultivator Wei So said. Suo shopkeeper said such a sentence, then looked at Wei Suo a glance. If I am not mistaken, fellow deist Gu, these several shapeshift great art great treasure are spirit rank middle grade above the shapeshift great art great treasure. These things are too expensive. How can we take fellow deists such great treasure things? Now we don't know anything about the lust shape outside. If we fall, this shapeshift great art great treasure stays on the body. What's the use? Fellow deist has a life-saving grace for me, and you will accept it first. Wei Suo directly reached out to put 4 shapeshift great art great treasures and a sacred Yao in the hands of shopkeeper Qian. Okay, it's so disrespectful. Shopkeeper Qian didn't deny it anymore. 4 people and 1 person divided a shapeshift great art great treasure. After thanking for a while, shopkeeper Qian looked at the bag of Danyao that Wei Suo took out, opened it and looked at it. Something that looks suspicious. Fellow deist G, what is this Danyao? This is restoring true pill, which is similar to Qi recovery pellet. Wei Suo also said nothing nonsense. This kind of response to true Yuan's Danyao, I have some more on it, you will accept it. Thank you for fellow deist. Hearing Wei Suo, shopkeeper Qian and Kong's treasurer suddenly showed a surprise on his face. There is very little such yao on them, and Wei Suo's bag Danyao is really an urgent need for them. Soon after, shopkeeper Qian's white bottle gourd brought Wei Suo and others closer to True Darkness City. The entire True Darkness City seems to be still extremely Ponte treat treasure. Wei Suo and others are compared with the ruins of the Ponte great treasure. In the face of such a great treasure, lying on the edge of the city, at first glance, the ruins of Death Chi, the city of Wei Suo and others, are all unspeakable. In this way, the city of great treasure, usually there are at least tens of thousands of cultivators in and out, but now they can't see any figures. Just like between heaven and earth, there are only a few of them left. There should be no high-level monster beast in True Darkness City. Shopkeeper Qian's golden spirit bee didn't feel that the high-level monster beast stayed in True Darkness City, and after taking away the flying shift great art great treasure, the pedestrian Be Careful flew along the ruins and entered as if it were a giant great treasure. The One Yuan burial ground is generally in the True Darkness City. Around the True Darkness City, the 3 trees didn't see much, but the 3 trees, in the walls of True Darkness City, are quite a lot at a distance of hundreds of feet. You can see 1 and 2 trees. Strain. How come there is no monster beast? Many of True Darkness City's stores are in the north of the city, so Wei Suo and shopkeeper Qian are heading north to the city, but only a few hundred feet in the ruins. Wei Suo and others are in the eyes of the gods. It is getting stronger and stronger. Because of the sight, although cultivators shapeshift great the fragments of the art clothes, the cultivator bone, even some broken shapeshift great art pieces, to secret place visible, the scene is very miserable strong. but in the sight, in addition to some monster beast body of the debris, even a monster beast of the intact corpse did not see, as if all true darkness city monster beast of corpses, have been cleared away alike. The lust shape seems to be a bit wrong, just wait a moment and go. After Wei Suo's eyes flickered for a moment, he stopped. Because he felt that his mind-devouring bug had now entered the true darkness city from the rear of true darkness city, the time of the most half-stick of incense should be able to reach his side. Under such a strange lust shape, Wei Suo naturally wants to wait until mind-devouring bug runs to his side. Slightly wait a moment, I heard that Wei Suo said that it is unknown that shopkeeper Qian and others are a glimpse. But at the same time, Wei Suo's brows immediately jumped, and the eyes of the surprised god Se. Fellow Daoist G, what? The whole dispenser immediately noticed the Wei Suo's anomaly, and some nervously asked. There are cultivators, and there is more than one look. Wei Suo's eyes flashed and said.